Greetings, Lucky Legends. My name is Lucky. This is Lucky Lad TV. I'm your host for this video, and today we are joined by my friend AceTrainerTroy for another interview with a YouTuber. Introduce yourself.
What's going on, trainers? AceTrainerTroy here. About to get interviewed. How does it feel? I don't know. It feels great.
I feel so honored. My heart is racing. I don't know how to contain myself.
Oh, come on, man. I'm out of all the YouTubers you've interviewed, I'm not up there, like, because who's like probably the most popular one you've interviewed? Glitch City or like AceTrainerTroy? Yeah,
Glitch
like
and
come on.
A-Drive.
Okay, and then like I'm like the lower tier. You know, I'm only at like 2,400 subs, but I'm doing good.
I have 114, so you know.
Oh, you're getting up there, dude. You're creeping up on me. I gotta watch out for you.
One day, maybe one day.
One day.
One of the cool things that you and I have in common is we both live in South Florida, and as you know, it's hot.
Dude, I've been living here all my life. I'm 21, and yeah, I've never been anywhere else. It's crazy, and but it's funny. I don't see myself moving anywhere. If I was gonna move, like I don't think it would be anywhere but like South Florida. I think I'm stuck here for life, in a weird way.
You're a true native. You're one with the land.
I guess if you want to go that far, yeah.
Well, it's like people say, like home is where the heart is, and if you've been living somewhere your whole life, it's home for you. Like you can move from one house to another, but you're not going to go off to Connecticut because that's not home for you. Home for you is South Florida.
Well, yeah, like, thing is here, like, I have all my friends. I know where, like, every movie theater is, like, every mall.
We have a lot of those.
Yeah, I know. We have, like, I can think of, like, 4 right now. There's a land center and, like, a movie theater that's, like, it's also an arcade, you know? There's this, like, go-kart track that actually used to work. It's pretty cool. They have Dave & Buster's. You know that place. So
Dave & Buster's is the shit.
It is. So it's like, why would I not want to move anywhere else? But like, you know, and because like if I go somewhere else, like you said, Connecticut, what the heck's out there? I don't know.
All I know is that A-Drive is in Connecticut, and I was just
he lives in Connecticut. That's
I was just watching his stream. That's why I was like Connecticut. That's the first state that came to mind.
I thought he lived in like the Midwest, like Indiana or some shit like that. That would make more sense.
The only person I know that lives in Indiana is Sammy Bammy, who is a friend of mine in Nips's little friend group there.
That's in like the Northeast, like Philadelphia, Boston area, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
It's like Midwest-ish.
No, yeah, I guess so. Yeah, okay. But man, Connecticut, that's far.
Yeah.
It's like really far. Damn.
I was born in Rhode Island, so like I know exactly where it is.
Oh, you're not even a true Florida native? Get out of here.
I was born in Rhode Island, I was raised in New Orleans, and I live here now.
Not bad.
So, you know.
You went further down south. Like, the older you got, you went more south.
Oh, yeah, we're just like, guys, we got to keep moving down, because when we retire, we're going to be down here anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Might as well get a head start on that.
Exactly. I mean, you live in South Florida, you know, we have, like, the most old people.
Dude, like...
Oh, and the Quebecians, when they come down?
Dude, they're still here. Like, what are you talking about?
Why haven't they left yet? It's summer. They're supposed to go back up.
It should be summer for them. It's crazy. And it's funny. I know a few kids that are, like, around, like, my age, I guess our age, and they live in, like, Toronto. And I'm like, what's up with all... And I always ask them, like, what's up with all your old people, like, go down here? How do you guys like it? We're like, oh, man, we love it, man. All the old people give us shit for doing crazy shit, but then they're all gone. We can do whatever we want. I'm like, okay, and I've actually always wanted to visit Canada, like Toronto area, just to see what it's like. But yeah, I wouldn't live there. One of the guys I met, because I met him through another friend, and he was like, "Oh yeah, you should live up here." And I'm like, "No, too cold."
Yeah, I was about to say you can't go from Florida to Canada without stopping somewhere in between.
I would die.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even say stopping in between. Even if, like, say if, like, tomorrow I moved to, like, Colorado, and it's, like, once winter hits, I wouldn't know what to do. I've only seen snow once in my life.
I think I don't ever remember seeing snow because I was so young when I lived in Rhode Island, but I know once I moved to New Orleans, haven't seen it once. Not once.
Oh, my gosh. I think I saw it once. My dad's from Ohio. We vacationed there once, and... Yeah, I was like 9. I was young, so I can hardly remember it, but it was fun, I guess.
Well, on that note, I think I should actually ask you something.
Yeah, no, yeah, we just been having a conversation that could have been cut out of this to get.
We're just here talking,
dude. Like,
but that's one of the things that I like about this series is that,
yeah,
the point of it is so that people get to know their favorite content creators as actual human beings. They're not just somebody on a screen who produces videos. They have actual lives and feelings and interactions. They're not just. They don't spend 24 hours a day, 7 days a week pumping out content. I
think my brother does that.
That's probably true, but most of us normals.
My brother, ever since he started YouTube, back in around X and Y, he's gotten out at least 2 videos a day for a solid almost 2 years. Can you believe that? Like,
I barely managed to get one. I do 1 video a day.
I do a video every other day if I'm lucky. Okay.
I gave myself a challenge to put out 1 video a day so you have the consistency in your schedule, and I record everything on Wednesday because I have work every other day of the week.
I'm with you there. Like, my only days off are Monday, Tuesday, so like, full-time jobs, like, yeah, I gotta do everything like Monday or like Sunday night, Monday night, like maybe Tuesday afternoon. Got to be ready for work Wednesday. I know how it is. But back when I first started YouTube, I don't know if you want to ask me a question on that. Actually, I don't know.
That's actually what I was going to say.
Am I going too far? Am I going too far?
Well, I mean, you've seen these before, so you know how the questions go. The first question is something along the lines of, where did you get your name? Why did you start YouTube? And all that sort of stuff. And I think that's an important question to ask because it kind of frames the mindset of people and why they would do something like this.
Okay, so... to go back, I already mentioned my brother. He's also on YouTube. He's Verlicify. If I don't know if you knew, but other people I don't know. And that one thing going into that, we all know his past. And he approached me last year around March 2014. He was like, I can give you an opportunity to do this too. And I'm like, I would like to take it. And we talked for a little bit. He was like, do you want to make your own channel, or do you want to be like a Verlicify 2 channel, or like like you'd have like my name, but it would be you and like you doing your own thing, or you create your own brand? And I went to create like my name, obviously AceTrainerTroy, and I like the name because I'm not a whole big fan on nicknames. I know, you'll call yourself Lucky, or like other people will call, like he calls himself Verlicify. I know that might be a flaw of mine, but I don't like nicknames. If you call me something else, I'm like, yeah, just call me by Troy, So that's why my name is like, I'll Ace Trainer, so that there's the Pokemon aspect in it. And then AceTrainerTroy, there's kind of like an alliteration, so it kind of rolls off your tongue. But a lot of my actual in real life friends, they've made fun of me for my name, but I'm still sticking with it because a lot of people do like it. My brother said, okay, it's cool, and it's funny how other people call him Verlis, and I'm like, no, I'm still gonna call you Tony, and his actual name is Tony. If no one else knew that, his actual name is Tony. Get it, Tony Troy? My parents were weird. So getting back, what was I? Okay, so he said, okay, you're gonna make your own channel. He showed me everything. He's like, okay, here's Photoshop, here's how to make thumbnails, here's XSplit. He even bought my capture card, or I paid for a little bit. He helped me, and he showed me like where to get. So I got my capture card. So before I even started my actual channel, I already had everything set. Like I had the capture card, all the recording software. I even had a friend of mine making a banner, and he hand drew me a banner, and he made me a logo too. So I was pretty set. Yeah. But so then after that, like I just actually had to do all this stuff. And for a while, I actually did double daily uploads for like a solid 3 months because my brother said, hey, I want to keep helping you out, but when people go to your channel to subscribe to you, there has to be videos on that channel. If not, why would they subscribe? But what's crazy, when I appeared on his channel as like a guest spot battling, and I did like my regular battle series. I call it solo queue, and I did one episode on his. And the first day that I appeared from his channel, he was at about maybe 50K subs. And when I went on his channel, I got 260, 70 subs without even putting up a video. And all that was there was like my banner and icon. And my brother's like, dude, you got to start uploading now. Like, do something. And I'm like, crap. So I rushed like 3 uploads in one day. and they weren't really that great. They weren't really edited well, but other people still liked it. And I gotta honestly say, every video I've ever pretty much done at least got 100 views. Yeah. Even back before I had like 500 subs, and then before I had like 1K subs, all my videos would at least break 100 views. It was crazy. Like his fan base is like really loyal to me and him. It was actually really like humbling for me. And some of the fans that I've had since like they've known like my brother way back then, and then now that ever since they've met me, they're still fans of mine even way back when. Because sometimes fans kind of teeter out, but mine they've kind of stuck with me for quite a while. And that's something good to know. So at least my brother has a good fan base, but his like
subscriber core.
Yeah, but no, I mean like his view of how people see him in the Pokemon community isn't so great. I mean that's the other problem. How I mentioned for me starting, people be like, "Oh, you're Velicify's brother. Oh, are you like him? Do you hate Smogon too?" That actually hasn't really happened yet. I always feel like any day someone can be like, "Oh, you're his brother. You know, you're probably gonna be like him. Oh, I don't want to watch your stuff." But other people have actually, when I say, "Oh, I'm his brother," they'd be like, "Oh yeah, that's cool." But I always tell them like, "Oh yeah, I do my own thing," or they don't even like care that I'm his brother. Or sometimes I won't even mention it. You know, just to be safe. So,
well,
so yeah,
it's one of those things because the PokeTuber community, it's one of the best communities around. It's very mutually supportive. But to the same extent, within each of those communities are little sub-communities.
Oh, yeah.
Well, mine doesn't really count because it's small, but, like, you have the Lucky Legends, you have the Shady People, the Nappy Nation, PK Planet, and
I know,
he's a PokeTuber. For anybody who says he isn't, he's a PokeTuber.
He is. I would have to agree. I don't follow him all that much, but I would have to, from what I've seen on his channel, yeah, he's a PokeTuber.
But, meaning, like, there are all those little sub-communities, and most of them get along well, but if you take a community like your brother's, which is very anti-Smogon, and you compare it to, like, the Shady People who, they're not... They're not necessarily pro-Smogon, but they're one of the nicer and more gentle groups, and it's like those two wouldn't necessarily mesh very well, but they still have the common ground of we all love Pokemon.
Yeah, no, but then at the same time, they love it so much that they want to be more right than the other group.
Yeah.
So that's why, we like Smogon so much, and we think it's this way, and they'll just defend it so hard, and they'll defend their ideals so hard. Then next thing you know, we might have a war on our hands in the Pokemon community. And my brother even said like, "Oh, I wanted to split this community in half." Like he told me before, way back when X and Y came out and all this Smogon stuff started happening. You know, all of his Smogon stuff actually happened before X and Y, even before Black and White. It was around Diamond Pearl. He found out about Smogon. I was like, man, I don't like these guys. I don't like the way they are. They're so centralized. Blah, blah. So all this like started happening before he even did YouTube. And then when he got to YouTube, he was like, okay, I finally have a way to get all my ideas out there. And look what it did to him. It was kind of positive, not really, more negative. And I always tried to stop him too. I was like, dude, I want to do this. I really think you should try to partner up with other people and just be the nice guy and be the guy everybody goes to for like guides, because he's famous for the guides, obviously. Because that's what really got him famous in the first place. Anybody could say, oh, he got famous because of Smogon. No, he got famous because he made the most innovative guides, and there was a group of people that actually liked that. And there was no one else doing guides on YouTube. And I even told him, like, yeah, no one's doing it. Do it. And he did, and look where he's at now. Like, I think I can remember his Aegis guide and Klefki guide. That's what really got him to like where he is now. That's what, because I've been watching his YouTube channel since it was 100 subs, maybe less. And next thing you know, like 1 week he's at a K subs, a week after he's at 10, and then like he's slowly getting like 20, 46. I'm like, dude, like it's not like you blew up. You've just been growing. You actually just became like an actual like YouTuber, like in general, because of like you found a group of people found you and they wanted to like go back to like your guides, be like, oh, I like this guide he did on this Pokemon. Okay, well maybe when he does my other favorite Pokemon, I want to be there for that. So he has probably the best reason to subscribe. Like if people are going to subscribe to my channel, what are they going to subscribe for? Cool battles? Awesome. That's all I do are battles. But for him, they have a reason to go back to. So that's why I kind of envy him, and I wish I could have kind of done something like he did way back when. But obviously, I wasn't really on the ball on that. But I had one regret I do have. I really wish I would have started YouTube sooner. Because right now, it's not only fun as hell to do, meeting all you guys, it's awesome. But it's not as hard as I thought it would be. I really thought it'd be a lot harder than it is, but it really isn't.
It's work, and it takes a lot of work, but to the same extent, it's not difficult because it's something that you enjoy.
Yeah.
Like, you're not struggling to do it because, like, oh, I hate this, but I have to do it. It's like, no, I love doing this, which is what makes it easier.
Even back in high school, I did a lot of video editing for like my video classes, so I already had a good grasp on editing. I've just never used Photoshop. But the reasons why I use Photoshop, I just move some pictures around in the Pokemon and mess with brightness and the contrast. So I don't do a whole lot on Photoshop. But when I use Vegas, I really I never used Vegas, but I used Camtasia before. Then when I jumped into Vegas, I'm like, oh, it's just like Camtasia in iMovie. Okay, easy. And then XSplit, when I found out about XSplit, because of my brother, I was like, oh, now I can actually stream. I can put layouts in. I can do all this. That when I found out about XSplit, that's when I was like, oh man, this is going to be good. So I've always used XSplit ever since. And people always ask me, oh, what do you use? Do you use OBS or some other thing? I'm like, no, XSplit's the way to go. That's what I feel.
But what I say is I use OBS until I can buy XSplit.
It's only $5 a month, man. Come on.
Oh, no, I have it now.
Oh, yeah.
No,
okay.
I mean, like, when I first started out my channel, I'm like, I don't have any money. My parents got me the webcam and the microphone for my birthday. And they're like, anything else is on you. And I'm like, all right, well...
well, damn.
until I have a job, I guess it's OBS for me. But once... like, right as I started this channel, I got XSplit, and I'm like, all right, I'm good to go.
Oh, there you go. And
took me like a month to figure out how to use it, but
Yeah, no, it actually took me a while to figure out how to add in a lot of the stuff and move around. I actually figured out recently how I can mess with a lot of the colors to where I can have the color correction already set up in XSplit, but I'm still tinkering how to make it similar to the way I have it in Vegas, because in Vegas I already have a preset, and in XSplit I'm working that out to where I can pretty much record and not even have to edit and then just upload.
Yeah,
that's the dream there.
When you get those one take videos and it's like,
that's how I used to upload. I didn't really edit a lot even in Movie Maker, because remember I told you when I uploaded all my videos really quick, I literally just did the battles and I straight up uploaded because I wanted to have them quick, and then I did the thumbnail later. But recently I've been striving more to make my content or my quality of the content as high as possible. I think I've reached a cap of how high I can make it. It's at 1080p, 60 frames. The color correction's there. I have an intro. The music's always at the right volume level, and I have an outro screen with its own transition to fade into there's 2 videos you can see at the end. And then I have the annotation set up. So other than the battles itself, to where I was before, I have a lot more features added on to the battles to make them look nicer. So I think I've done enough to make my videos look nice. But back then, it's literally, I would start recording the battle, I would end it, and then say, okay, bye, then upload it. And I wouldn't even have no intro, no... The music was playing in the background on YouTube, and I would have to test it 100 times, be like, okay, is it the right volume? Okay, let me lower it. Okay, sounds good. Then hopefully the volume. Some of my older videos, the music is louder than other videos, so it threw me off a little bit. But now everything's all preset in Vegas, and then all of it sounds the same. That's what I want. I want every video to be the same, because that way it just makes sense.
People love consistency.
That's true.
And I watched some of your videos earlier today, and I'm like, he's very, very consistent. Everything's straightforward. You know what you're going to see, and that's really nice, because people don't like change. They freak out. They panic. They incite mass panic, and they start setting fires.
That is true. A lot of people that do the channel updates when they're like, oh, I'm going to change this to doing this. Another thing that really sets me back as a PokeTuber, PokeTubers, they have their clever nicknames and oh, I'm a Pokemon with this nickname or this Pokemon. I don't even have a legitimate mascot for one. That's another one of my flaws. I can't even think of one, because there's too many Pokemon I like. I can't name one. Okay,
I just arbitrarily selected one Pokemon, and I'm like, that's my mascot.
Like my favorite Pokemon of all time is Dragonite, but we all know there's a really big ass YouTuber who has Dragonite as their mascot. I can't really do it because then I'd feel weird for myself, not for the fans. Be like, oh yeah, but anybody can like a Pokemon. No, for me, I'd be like, but this guy likes Dragonite as much as me.
That's the same thing for me. Is my favorite Pokemon, like straight up favorite Pokemon, is Arcanine. But I know like 2 or 3 people that have that as their mascot, so I'm like,
I can think of one, yeah.
Well, I know Crimson Seabat has it. And Rebel Growlithe has Growlithe. And
what about Not Blame Truth? Doesn't he?
He has it as well.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, now I know Crimson has
Gym
it. But...
Leader Geo.
Yeah, okay, damn. So, what are you going to do with that?
So, I was like, well, my second favorite Pokemon is Lucario, but people use that too. So, I'm like, Mega Lucario. Nobody uses that.
Well, that seems cheating. Come on.
Exactly.
So,
but nobody else has it.
So, getting back, like, the Pokemon... The PokeTuber thing. So yeah, there's like the 3 criteria I don't have: a mascot, a clever like my own nickname, you know, and I don't do channel updates really. I've done like maybe 3 out of my whole YouTube career, and I just felt weird about them because there's time in my live battles where I can do a little update during that battle and in the description and in a Twitter thing. I can be like, hey, there's a little announcement in this battle. You know, you're going to get a battle and you're going to be able to watch this. But a lot of people that do channel updates to just announce a few things and they'll do like a vlog kind of thing. I just feel like that's just, I don't know, a lot of time wasted when they could be doing like actual battle, you know, or like an actual like content thing that, you know, so they accomplish more. So like when you see like a battle for me, you're going to get like a channel update maybe if I have. But a lot of times, like, I won't change anything. Like, I do keep things consistent. I'm not going to change the way it is. The only thing maybe I'd update is like, oh, I'm going on vacation. Just expect low uploads. And when I got this full-time job that I got 2.5 months ago, I said in like 3 of my battles, 3 different uploads. I'm like, yeah, expect slower uploads. And then I'm like, yeah, expect slower uploads again. And then the last one was like, if you guys don't already know, I got a full-time job and I'm gonna have to slow down the uploads. And then after that, then my fans started saying I didn't upload for 4 days at a time. They're like, where the hell are you? And I'm like, I'm working, you know, sorry. I would have really liked YouTube to be a job. Yeah. But it became more of a hobby. But it's an awesome hobby. It's a hobby not a lot of people can say they have, and that's what I really like about it. And
well, it's because so many people burn out.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The thing about this is that if you want to break the insignificant channel size, like if you want to break the 5, the 10, the 50 subs, you have to upload and you have to network and you have to treat this like it's important. You can't just upload whenever you feel like, because you may have some subscribers, but your view count will probably be extremely low.
Yeah, exactly. It's always been at least if you can get 10%, you're lucky, you know?
Yeah.
But my brother actually said it in a video recently. He said, if you're going to do YouTube, have low expectations, at least when you get started. Unless you have really good ideas, still keep those expectations low. Like, have like your goal for like a month, maybe 50 subs, or like then the next month 100, and then go from there. And same thing, and I kind of did that too. I told myself, I'm like, you know what, I would like YouTube. Like my ultimate goal would have been to be like my brother. At the time he was at 60K. When I started, I'm like, you know, maybe in about 2 years, if I'm at 60K subs, that would make me really happy. But I knew, I was like, okay, but I can't think that's going to happen. I have to try to earn it. You know, that's why. Then I was like, okay, maybe after a year, I want to try to get 1,000 subs. So I got 1,000 subs in like 8 months. So I was ahead of that. And then right now, I got 1,000. I got to 2,000 after like 4 months. So I was like, oh, I'm doing really good. But now things kind of slowing down because obviously ORAS died out, Pokemon's dying out itself. So that put me in a tough spot. But my other like medium goal that was in between like my ultimate goal, like I was like, you know, if I could like do this, make a video a day and get like $100 a month, that would really make me really happy. So I'm not at that point just yet. I made like $50 off YouTube in December because all the CPMs and everything was good and my views were really good. So I made a lot of money in the month of December. I was like, you know, I did that before. I could if I keep trying at this, and my subs go up, I could probably get up there eventually and keep my my viewer retention up. So that really worked out. So that was really something I always thought about. Like, you know, I could have my goals set up. I would like to be where my brother was at that point, but the more and more I kept going, I'm like, you know, I don't think that's going to really happen. So yeah. but it still could. You know, I could maybe do that one here.
You never know.
Like I could make a video that like took me like months to make, and it was all worth it. Next thing you know, it blows me up. You know, it could happen. But there are a lot of opportunities I missed on like videos I could have made that I think back on, but I still think there's still other opportunities I can take advantage of. But now I have the groundwork laid out. Like, say if there's a new Pokemon game that gets announced and I do some video about it, blah, blah, blah. Next thing you know, I do the right videos on it. And who knows, I could, you know, get bigger that way. But I already have my YouTube channel. The one thing I have now that I never had before is I have a YouTube channel. Mm-hmm. That's all that matters.
Yeah, exactly. It's you have your channel. You don't need anything else except the exposure. Yep. You need a channel and exposure, and then you grow, and then you're a big channel.
And it goes from there. And hopefully, I could become a big channel. A lot of my fans that came over from my brother, they even said they're like, "Oh, I like you a lot better than him. I think you deserve a lot more subs than he does." And that was really humbling for me. But at the same time, I'm like, you know what? I probably deserve I could. But in my mind, I'm like, I don't think I ever did really deserve, because my brother did work hard for where he's at. It really showed, and I didn't really work as hard as he did. I was just doing my own thing. But there are things I do on my videos that I know he doesn't do, like editing in Vegas on like intro, color correction, like, you know, the right music and everything. I always want to be like, okay, so he's going to do his. I'm going to make my quality a lot better. My quality is better. He's even come to me sometimes like, oh, can you help me edit this, this, and this? And I'm like, yeah. Yeah.
You bet your ass I can.
Yeah, no, I was like, yep, I hear you. Okay, keep telling me how great I am at this editing thing. And sometimes he was like, oh, and a lot of the videos I've even made, like my 100 to 0 sweet montages, they're like my gimmick videos. They're really quick videos where I just, you know, do jokes and stuff like that. But there are some of the videos he's actually even like commended me as like, Troy, like, where do you come up with this stuff? And I'm like, I don't know, and he always tells me like, oh, you can get big with this video, or this video can blow you up. He always gives me really good, I guess, motivation for it. But it ultimately doesn't happen. But he even said it himself that he got lucky on YouTube because he got lucky. Like, he's where he is because he said by sheer luck, which kind of goes hand in hand, you know.
Well, I mean, the advantage that you have that not many people have, like myself included, I don't have it, that you do have, is you have a reliable mentor.
Yeah, I did.
You have your brother on your side, and you can be like, when did you notice that you were starting to gain significant growth? When did you notice that you were starting to do this, that, blah, 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 blah?
Oh, yeah.
That's an advantage that not a lot of people have, and that's why they usually end up trying to emulate another YouTuber, but people don't want to see that necessarily because they can just watch the original.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I personally strive for is, and it's the reason my channel is a community channel, is because I try to emulate a little bit of all these different people and piece it together.
Nothing's wrong with that, yeah.
And then when I have it all together, take my own personal style and say, okay, that's how they did it. I'm going to do something similar, but I don't want it to be like theirs. I want it to be my version thereof. And that's why, like, nobody has ever told me, except for one time when I did it on purpose, that I'm copying somebody.
But you did on purpose, so.
The one time somebody said that was when I copied the Heated Mo's smooth transition thing where he snaps. And I'm like, yeah, I think that's funny, so I did it one time. And it's because I changed a shirt in the middle of the video.
I've always had a video idea as like a community thing. I have two community ideas. There's one I'm actually gonna try to go through because I'll be going to PAX Prime this August. There's another community video I've always had in my mind. I want to copy everybody's intros, and I can do like, I wouldn't say I can do their impressions like on point, but man, I know all the ones that are so different. I can do like a good 20, and you know I could have their like actual like channel and be like, who am I actually doing? But like, I always felt like that would have been kind of cheesy, and people would really be like, oh, really? Did you have to do it? But, like, yeah, I could emulate, like, I wouldn't say perfectly, but like I said, like, I know there's Shadies, there's Nappies, there's Scrafties, there's, Heated Mo's, Numbnexus has his, all the big guys you know. So, like, yeah, I always wanted to just do their intros just to make fun, but at the same time, like, what's that really going to do for me? I don't think it's going to do a whole lot.
Like, it'll be, people will watch it, but people aren't going to be like, oh, that guy's amazing, I'm going to subscribe because he did that. They're going to be like, that was a funny video. You'd probably get a bunch of likes on it, but people wouldn't.
I actually think, like you said, like the sub-communities on the fan bases, it's weird to know what they want because, yeah, like I said, like my brother's community, you know what they wanted because they subscribed for the reasons why they did. Mm-hmm. And for Shady's community, he has a big community. They subscribe because of them. Then there's the other parts of the community, like, why do people subscribe to Heated Mo? Okay, because, yeah, he's a different personality. And why do people subscribe to Nappy? Okay, because his personality. But you can see the videos they do. They're really different. And you can see they're so different that it actually divides up the community to where, like, if you see Shady do a video like, say, Nappies, they're kind of similar, yeah, but you can see the difference in how their communities each would be like, oh, I didn't like it so much. But you saw when they did their co-op a while ago how people on Shady's channel didn't like Nappy so much, and Shady got kind of pissed at that. I think that's what happened. And then
it went both ways. People
exactly
from the Nappy Nation got pissed off at Shady. People from the Shady people got pissed off at Nappy.
Yeah, that was So you can see the two communities got divided, and they're both doing this, and both of them, Shady and Nappy, are like, guys, chill, you know, like, don't do that.
It's a co-op. What are you doing? Come on.
In my mind, I'm like, man, how is this even happening in general? How do they let their fans do that? And at the same time, I thought they kind of had the same fans, but I guess not. They had two completely different sets of fans. So,
well, I mean, you really have to think about it like a Venn diagram. There's the Shady people and the Nappy Nation, and, you know, there's going to be some overlap. Like myself, I love Nappy and I love Shady, but there are some people who like Shady and don't like Nappy.
Yeah, I know. Like, yeah, so
it's just gonna happen.
Yeah, but then there's the other popular YouTubers. Like, there's, I guess Jaywitz counts, or well, we could say Munching Orange.
I think Jaywitz evolved past that.
Okay, how about we have Munching Orange? He's doing pretty good. He's got a really good I think he has really good Latin American growth because I think that's what I wrote. So he's popular because of some of the videos he did, or just because he's Spanish. I don't know. And I mean, so
you could take Nate Wants to Battle, but he's a musical genius. So
yeah, well, I think he even said himself that Nate Wants to Battle really isn't a PokeTuber. Really, he makes Pokemon videos, but he also does other music stuff. So it's kind of, we can throw him off the table. But there's other communities out there that we really don't talk a whole lot. Like, we don't talk about TyranitarTube's community. What are they like? They're just in it for the news because that's all TyranitarTube really did, and Let's Plays. There's Tamashi Hiroka. She does pretty much top 10 Jaywitz stuff. Nothing against her. She's cool.
You got Shofu.
Yeah, Shofu. He pretty much does stuff like what Nappy will do.
He kind of switched over to Smash.
Yeah, I know. So and then PK Sparks, as you're saying, he is PokeTuber, but he'll do a lot of Nintendo stuff like Mario games. So there's no hiding that. So their communities, it's like there is a big part of the Pokemon community, but then it's also more Nintendo, and we see that when there's Pokemon stuff, good amount of people watch it, but when there's other Nintendo stuff, maybe more people might watch it for Nintendo stuff. You never know. That's one thing to look at it. Because as a whole, you were saying that Pokemon, it's a great community, honestly, but I feel like it isn't as big as people might get off as it is. I don't think it's that big.
Yeah, people...
That's me personally.
They kind of overestimate it because it's like when you're 4 years old and somebody says, how old do you think your dad is? You're like, oh, my dad's old. He's 600.
Yeah.
Because you don't understand what the relationship between actual age and actual size are, and if somebody asked me how big do you think the Pokemon community is, if you asked me that a year ago, when I first got into it, I'd say Pokemon community runs YouTube. It's probably 1 billion people, but it's probably maybe a tenth of that.
Oh yeah. Well, I think. Well, sorry. You can continue.
Well, because the thing that you have to realize is that there's so many different communities. PewDiePie has, I think, 33 million subscribers. That's probably larger than any other single community out there, and he posts a little bit of everything.
Yep. And I honestly think if Minecraft never happened, I think their community would have turned into our community. But what that would mean is there'd be a lot more PokeTubers out there. Right now, I feel like the size of the big PokeTubers, there's a handful we can name, which is good. I like how it's not there's not a really big amount of like people doing it. It's nice to see people are doing like there's a lot of the smaller channels that are trying to become what they like see like they see it, their favorite guy and they want to do they're inspired by him, they want to do it. But I feel like say if Minecraft never happened, yeah, we would probably have their fan base maybe that's a
I think we'd have a good chunk of it.
But still, like think of how many people are at over 1 million subs in the Minecraft community, and think of how many PokeTubers are over 1 million subs.
I personally can only think of one, and that's Jaywitz.
Exactly. So we see how the Minecraft community can be. It can blow people up, but it also you can see some of those over 1 million subs. They don't have a lot of viewer retention, so they kind of burn out. And who knows, that could have happened with us if we had really big booms of like subscribers and like people like get up to a really high amount, but then they just fizzle out. That could have been us, and then our Pokemon community would have been dying out. But like you were saying, it would make sense. Pokemon at when we were growing up was undoubtedly the biggest game in the whole world. How is Pokemon one of like the lesser communities on YouTube when it was the biggest game at one point, which is crazy. But like I said, it got overtaken by other games like the Call of Duties, the Minecrafts, and some of the you
have like the Halo community. You have the
Halo
community.
Then the online community. Like, there's the online gaming like League of Legends. There's that community. So those games are getting bigger and bigger, and Pokemon just slowly died out. The only time Pokemon's big when there's a new game, because that's the only time when people are done playing their regular Halo, Call of Duty console games that they'll go back to the handheld to play the new Pokemon game and watch people on YouTube for a little bit and maybe start to like them, but then they go back to the other games eventually. That's kind of what happens. It's a bit
you start
sad.
playing it, you finish it, you stop playing it.
Yep, that's all it is. That's kind of the downfall to all of us, and that's why a lot of the Pokemon people are trying to broaden out their horizons and switch into other games, but sometimes that doesn't work. So
like for me, I said right from the beginning, I'm a PokeTuber at heart, but there's gonna be a lot of other stuff on this channel. The first episode on the first video on my channel is me explaining the martial arts of Avatar: The Last Airbender.
That's actually really cool, and I love that show too.
Because I've been doing martial arts for 16 years, and that show was my life when it was on.
Oh yeah, same here, man. Yeah, and Legend of Korra was just as good.
Yeah, like they didn't fuck it up with the sequel. I'm like, oh god, not a sequel. And then I saw it, I'm like, never mind, you're good.
Yeah, I know.
Keep doing you. You're doing well.
I'll argue. Maybe you might hate me. I think Legend of Korra was a little bit better than the regular Avatar. It's close. It's really close.
The thing for me is that I liked the ending of The Last Airbender so much.
Oh, yeah, totally, yeah. Everybody didn't like the Legend of Korra ending. But, man, the third and fourth season of Legend of Korra blew my mind.
Those were sick as fuck.
Those 2 seasons beat out every season Avatar did. But the last 4 episodes of The Last Airbender, the first Avatar, was like watching a movie.
Yeah, the last 4 episodes...
No pun intended on the actual movie they made for it.
No, the last 4 episodes of Avatar: The Last Airbender are better than any episode of both of the series.
That's also close.
But exactly, that's the thing. But it's just those 4 episodes.
I think they really tried harder on the story of Legend of Korra, and it showed. And then the character development was a lot better. And it looked like the art popped a lot more. I like the way it looked.
Yeah.
You can tell Avatar was old for... It wasn't old for its time, but you could tell some of it, like the early episodes, really weren't there just yet. So,
well, it's because originally they weren't sure if it was going to be like an anime or like a cartoon, and they kind of got stuck in between.
It was kind of both.
Yeah, they kind of got stuck in between, but they didn't have a consistent art style because that didn't really exist yet. Mm-hmm. So they had to start evolving, and then they got the lion turtle, which was actually hand painted.
Yeah, I know. I heard that. That was really...
And
really
I'm like, holy shit, do you understand how complex that thing was?
Where did they get the artists for that? Yeah, we went off topic.
That must have taken him days.
I think we went a bit off topic. No, I don't care. Yeah, we were off topic.
We actually completely destroyed the 40-minute mark. But what I'm actually thinking is... I'm actually thinking we keep going and make this a 2-part interview.
I'm fine with that, too.
Because that's one of the things that I was... talking about with Crimson after I did the interview. I'm like, there's still so much stuff that we didn't cover. And he's like, yeah, so you'll just have me back on again. And I'm like, well, we're both free right now, so we might as well do it now. I didn't say that with him because he had to go off to work. No, wait, I had to go off to work. But I'm like, that's the type of thing is why not extend it and break it apart? And especially when, like, we haven't even scratched the surface.
There's two things that, we haven't covered that we could kind of cover. But you're the interview guy.
Well, the next question is what is really important for people to know about you?